thing, man. The kid came to play every game, and I just want him to keep that same hunger, in the league. Because, once some guys, man, when they make it to the league, they kind of lose that, man, I made it. But I think with Willie, since he's been in the UFL and the USFL for 2 years now, hey, them paychecks don't hit the same in the UFL as they do in the NFL. You know what I mean?
What did Miss Purdy tell Willie? You tell your daddy I said hello.
She said, hey, but on the cool, that's God bless, bro. You just messed me up with that. That's crazy. You just did that.
Stated that it was a semblance of a linebacker room. It wasn't. We had a safety playing linebacker, and light in the ass was a nice way to fucking put it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have linebackers, and the reason we like this kid, not just the forced fumbles, which is very astute of you, Rue. It was the last 2 years he has led the league in tackles. Yeah. That's effort. That is Smith in his play.
Emmitt Smith. Yeah, I'm getting to our Cowboys, but I'm just saying it's so many awesome athletes that's play professional sports that we actually got to see. We didn't have to go to YouTube. We seen it. And we just want the same for our kids, man. To see the Cowboys, horse that trophy up, man. That feeling.
To see Rue see that.
Yeah, to see Rue see.
I was alive, Mikey. I was alive. I had the birthday cake and everything. Shit, Super Bowl used to be on my damn birthday, so don't even go there.
That's my birthday. Every player in the league would say.
Well, I think D-Locker's still good to the passer. I just think he sucks at it now. But, that's just my opinion because he's tired.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit for you to say. Like, that's bullshit. I was
trying to get Armando.
Shot to fucking Michael Parsons and fuck Michael Parsons. Team D-Lock.
I was trying to get him that.
I'm tired, bro.
His ass being on first take.
I don't have a good feeling about this game.
Take your ass back to sleep and wake up again.
No, hey, we could be rah so many weeks, big fella. Like, we could be rah so many weeks. But ultimately,
this is one of those games that kind of has you guys. This is one of those games that has you kind of looking at it like, it's Buffalo, it's Josh Allen. We get it, but
maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I want to be the smart one to say the Cowboys lost, and then I called it. You gotta
leave that to me being the smart one. Okay, I just need you to be an analyst like you're supposed to be for the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm analyzing this, and
just want you to just keep this in your mind. keep it in your mind, okay? Keep these winged helmets in your mind, and I want to just let it marinate in your spirit. So next Thursday and next Friday, just keep this image in your head, okay? Keep it in your head, and the big fella needs to be happy. Introducing your lineup for the Cowboy Up podcast. From Stop 6, Texas, the big fella, Dallas, Cowboy Chris. And from the 915, Cholo Town, 21, can you do something for me? Armando, 21, Armando. And from the capital city, my man, allow me to butt in sports, hook 'em, Rue. from the great state of Arizona. And he's mic'd up. He's Mikey 520.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is up, Cowboys? Say, man, welcome to the Cowboy Up podcast. Say, man, it's Tuesday again. Y'all know what happened on Tuesdays. Y'all know what happened on Tuesday. Man, you get the four amigos on the show. You get us. So let me introduce them to you one more time. Y'all already heard the start lineup, but I like to do it live too. Man, from the 915, Cholo Town, my man, 21. Can you do something for me? What's up, Armando?
What's going on, big fella? What's going on, Mikey? Retrofits Roo. I got it right. I got it right, baby.
and down there in the hill country, the capital city of Texas, Mr. Retrofit. I need to redo that open. Mr. Retrofit himself is my man, Roo.
What's happening, baby? What's happening? Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. And y'all know, man, where he's from the great state of Arizona, Mr. 520 himself, Mikey. And he's always mic'd up. What's up, Mikey?
What's up, man? Took a little off week, man, and it was a good show last week, to say the least. You know, you had your ups, you had your calls, you had your shorts. It was great. It was great. It was very great. And I missed y'all. I missed all
green
y'all.
brim on today. You got the green brim.
Yeah, the green brim. Hey,
the green brim, right? The green. You know what? I had a U.S. shirt, and I was gonna do the camouflage. And I don't know if this ever happens to you, but I'm Mexican, and my woman uses a lot of bleach. And I don't know and I saw it, and I you could overreact a little bit, but it is what it is.
All right. Well, look,
I gotta watch where I rub my ass.
All right, we'll talk about your ass some other time.
Hot, bro.
Yeah, but look, man. No further ado, man. We got a special guest on the Cowboy Up podcast, man. It's been a long time coming, but when you want to talk about the OG and this gangster shit, here he is, man. Allow me, hey, it's our boy B2 Real. What's up, B?
What up with it? What up with it, man?
B in the building.
I happy to be here, man. I happy to be here.
Hey, man, but if a lot of y'all don't know, when I say original gangster, our former show, the Cowboy Huddle, B2 Real was the original on that show. We joined his show.
Yeah, okay?
we were. He's the man. So when we all had different perspective on the Cowboys and everything like that, B2 Real is the one who started the shit, and then we would all get into it because B and Mikey got different kind of brains than the rest of the Cowboy fans. They make you really think about this shit.
Yeah, I got some topics tonight too. That I want to bring up, but we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get into it.
Hey, B2 Real was the only signature on Chris's ceiling, straight up.
He was the first. Hey, and then the other 6'4s started looking at my ceiling, and they was like, "Oh, I can sign the ceiling." So, but B2 Real is always the original. He started that gangster shit. Yeah. So he did it. Hey, that's what us offensive linemen, the big 6'4" offensive linemen, man, that we can block people like Mikey with ease. We can sign the ceiling.
You got my leverage, boy. You got my leverage. You got to bend those knees, bending at your hips. But yeah, I digress.
Hey, they got me at center, got B2 Real at the strong tackle, man. We going. Let's rock and roll. But look here, man.
We tree trunks.
we gonna start, man, with the Malik Hooker and Michael Parsons situation. Y'all know what Malik said. Matter of fact, if you don't know, let's just go ahead and play the video. Let's rock and roll, man. Let's go ahead and play this
all
video.
On the
video. Be honest with me, though, and I ain't trying to get you in trouble. I really don't care, but I gotta ask you this question: how you feel about Micah having a podcast during the season? How you feel about that?
Honestly, man, like, and this is me. Like, I'm one of those guys, like I'm not into that type of stuff. You know, some guys it works for, you know, like you see the Jason Kelce's and guys like that who are successful with the podcast as well as performing on the field and having success with it. So I don't have a problem with it. I feel like a lot of these guys, though, they just get on there sometimes and they start falling into the part of, you know, just saying stuff that, you know, for the clicks and, you know, having people to come view and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't have no problem with it. My thing would be, though, for Micah, my advice would be for Micah would be, you know, just make sure we're all right, you know, where we're and being where your feet are. Because if we're at work and, you know, the run game's terrible, but you're doing a podcast every week and, you know, the run game is terrible, then, you know, what are you really caring about? Are you caring about the crowd that, you know, is watching your podcast? Are you caring about the success of our team and the Super Bowl that we're trying to reach? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, but also, you know, a lot of people got to remember, Mike is young. You know, he's still trying to find his way. He's still trying to grow into who he's trying to be. So I give him grace, you know, honestly. Like, I always hear people say stuff that he done said on the podcast or something silly he done said. But people got to remember, like, Mike is still a big kid. Mike is still a big kid. And, you know, you can't fault a big kid for, you know, trying to expand as well as experiencing still stuff that they ain't really been through. Because Mike only been in the league 4 years. Like, they're still experiencing stuff that he been through. He ain't never been through real adversity yet in the league. Like, he ain't seen that yet, you know. So I feel like over time and over these next couple years of experiencing adversity, it's like you'll see him start to change in how he approaches stuff like that, like the podcast, stuff like that. But like I said, it don't bother me, my guy. I honestly, like I said, I'm one of those guys, man. I focus on my plate. You know, if I feel like it's affecting my plate and our plate as a defense or as a team, then I'll have something to say. But I really don't pay that much attention to it. I don't know, honestly. And even like, because what is it, on Twitter or whatever he has?
It's on social media or whatever, I guess.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's on Twitter or whatever the case. I think I'll be back then because I don't got a Twitter now. I lost my Twitter, but I think it was on Twitter. I was seeing it more so back then that it was popping up on there. But man, it just depends, man. You know, people's gonna have something to say about it, good or bad.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. 100%. You definitely, you know, it's always an issue.
Yeah. So like just certain stuff, like there's just character and, you know, and value that, you know, with certain stuff you just shouldn't say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're gonna get backlash behind saying this. And I mean, he knows he's saying stuff that, you know, he's getting backlash for. They're saying bad things about, man. You should really look at what they're saying. Like, you gotta be real with yourself. Are you saying stuff just for clicks? Are you saying the truth? Are you saying stuff that is really happening in the office or at work? Or are you just saying stuff because you want to feel like you know ball or you want to, you know, the crowd to come watch? I don't know.
All right. Say, man, wow. I think Malik Hooker has watched this show a time or two. I think he's watched it a time or two, okay? Because I know we had spit some things similar to this, but man, we're gonna start with, I guess, man. We're gonna start with Be Too Real. Be Too Real. What you think about what Malik Hooker said, man, about Micah?
You know, it's a combination of things that can be said about this statement, man. It was definitely some slugs thrown. You know, I can be the king of petty at times, you know, and I saw a little pettiness, you know, a little sluggery going on in his comments. You know, he talked about how he's a young guy, you know, he's 28. Malik Hooker is 28. Michael Parsons is 25. That's a 3-year age gap. That ain't, you're not able to call him young. I'm 40, about to be 41. I could call Michael young. I could call him young. You 28, dude. You young too. You know, but you know, I heard something in there. I don't know if you guys heard it, but you know, there are two types of players. We all play sports. There are two types of players. There's types that are born, there's types that are built. Right? Some got to work harder than others to get what the other one can't get, you know. Malik Hooker's that guy, you know. He's a decent enough safety to make it to the league, right? Yeah. But he can't do what Michael Parsons can do. And Michael Parsons got a podcast where he's talking cash money shit if he wants to, you know. He can't do that because he has to regulate a lot of time to practice, to facilitating his talent, to, you know, honing his craft. Well, Michael may not have to do it as frequent and as often as he does. And I think, a little bit of that kind of came through in that statement about him, saying if our run game is faulting, where are you at on your podcast, or are you because nobody says anything about our secondary when we getting beat for them bombs and getting our ass chewed up in the secondary, So you can't come with a lending hand in one phrase, and then in the second phrase you kind of throwing slugs. So I didn't particularly care for the statement, but it is what it is. If he felt that was a need to say,
Wow. Hey, 21. What you got on this, man?
Man, you know what? There's a lot to kind of unravel in this in the whole that whole interview, right? He talked about Micah being a young guy. We all talked about this before. We talked about this new generation, this clicks, the YouTubes, the TikToks. It's a whole different generation, But I think that Malik kind of hit it where we all have been talking about, like, is you what are you really trying to achieve? Are you really trying to achieve that star status while you're in Dallas? Or are you really trying to win a championship? So I mean, there's a lot of points where he brought up, and I'm just like, we talked about this a lot. If for like Malik said, for some guys it works, for the Kelseys it works, but they're putting in that work and they got those rings to prove it, So for me, it's like, put up or shut up, and you haven't put up, so maybe it's time to shut up.
Maybe it is time to shut up. Hey, Rue, what you got on this subject, baby?
We've been saying this for months, since the season. I'm not crawfishing on it now. I never liked the podcast from the beginning, and I don't like it now. And all this does is shed light on the rumor that we had a few months back, talking about people don't like Micah in the locker room. There's so many things to unpack with this, because it's like, is he splitting up the locker room? Are there people that are upset about this? Are there people that are annoyed that he's on a podcast every single week, doing this, that, and the third? And I've said it from the beginning as well. I'm not mad at somebody trying to make their money, but bro, Micah Parsons, you're still on your rookie deal. This is a not for long league for a reason. And when it talks about, and when he hints at the work, because I missed that. I missed it. B, you caught that better than I did, because I guess I didn't put it together when he was talking about the work. But if he's talking about how much he's working inside the room, yeah, he's an extremely talented player, but people catch up to you in this league rather quickly. We've seen a lot of guys have great years and then fall off and become nothing within the next year that follows. So I hope that's not the case with him. And there's so many things swirling around Micah where it's like, I'm curious as to what's going to happen with him in the long term as well. Are we going to keep this guy? Is he going to be the guy that we move forward with? Are we going to seriously talk about trading Micah Parsons that we've hinted at time to time on this very show? I just think it's crazy that everything that's swirling around Micah Parsons is being like, if you're going to let your career be bamboozled by a damn podcast, bro, that's just dumb. And it shouldn't be happening. Concentrate on becoming the Hall of Fame player that I know you can be, a Super Bowl winning player that I know you can be, a generational talent at your position that I know you can be. Just concentrate on the football and the rest will come. You can have the show. You can be on CBS. We can put you on Fox. You're a Cowboy, baby. Get what matters and get on that damn stage. There's a time and a place for everything, and now ain't that time.
All right. Well, let's go to Mr. Mic'd Up. Mikey. you heard B2 Real. You heard 21. You heard Rue. I'm just sitting back in the cut on this one because I'm loving this subject. Mikey, let's go, man. Come on.
First I'm calling the police. You can see, because there's some teammate crime happening. But I'm on board with I like what B2 Real, picked up on, because there's a lot more. Keyshawn did not lead Malik Hooker and none of this. Malik Hooker divulged this, and just like Ruth said, the Sean Sharif report, all the backlash that he has in the locker room and the divisiveness by the way he is. Sometimes it's just a little too much. Sometimes the things he says is too much, like the Tyler Guyton thing. And wanting the defensive player, but shitting on Tyler Guyton, that kind of crap. Him going at CJ Stroud, where he just looks like an idiot sometimes, and it kills us. At the same time, I want him to get money. Be the president of Bleacher Reports Media. If that makes you happy and us not paying you to next year, holding you over, that's good. You're on a prove it year. But the biggest crime committed in this interview that you guys didn't, that wasn't on there, was about Malik Hooker talking about Micah Parsons' money and who should we pay first. And he put Micah Parsons fourth on that list. He said CeeDee Lamb, Zach Martin, Dak Prescott, and then Micah Parsons, which is a big tell, and exactly going back around to what Rue stated about the locker room and the chemistry, and they're fed up with it. We want him to shut off his Micah. We've been saying this sentiment forever, and Malik Hooker made some points. The biggest difference between Travis Kelce and Micah Parsons is 3 rings. And that's why Travis Kelce could do those things and has liberties, and they do have charisma, they do have talent, but Travis didn't get this new hype podcast until he won a Super Bowl, along with his brother that had a Super Bowl in his pocket. That's why there's more credibility to that, and that's why we get frustrated as Cowboy fans. Does this validate Jesse Holley? And the work that he put in, that he could only be like a dog on the porch, sees the ball, then runs for the ball, opposed to being the middle linebacker that we drafted him to be, because we needed a linebacker last year and we had a damn strong safety playing linebacker. And that's our frustration in a motherfucking nutshell.
Be too real. I need a rebuttal.
Yeah. I mean, what are we talking about here, guys? Are we talking about getting rid of our beloved Michael Parsons? Is that what you guys are saying? Because it sounds like it.
We want to get rid of the show.
This guy says he has never faced any real adversity on the field. Is that what he's talking about? Because that's bullshit.
Well, I think he talks about his own self. The 4 years in football years is like dog years. So 28 to 24 is very different. I know you're talking about you being 40. You're a man like Mike Gundy, but it's like dog years in football. The adversity that Malik saw was because he was a high first-round draft pick, right? Was he like a top 15 pick? He got cut or released, and then we picked him up. So that's the adversity that he's talking about. But he also said in the interview that Micah hasn't scratched the surface of himself, and he hasn't put in the work of reaching his potential. As much as I hate saying the word potential, that's what he said.
Well, my deal is this. My deal is this. I feel like we're giving Micah this he cannot do anything until he pays me my $20 back mentality. Okay, it's like, until he wins the fucking ring, he can't do shit but play football and got to be great football at that. This guy, right? If I see you at the store and you getting the soda, hey, what my $20 you borrowed? That's how we giving him this treatment, and I think that's wrong for us to do, because Michael, for one, he's available to do it, right? He's a star talent for a reason. I mean, he got a star on his helmet. That gives him one credit right there. For two, he was mentioned. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he was mentioned with the great Lawrence Taylor. They're like, he's the next coming of Lawrence Taylor. That's another credibility source for him to be marketable. He's a very marketable young. He is. He's a very marketable guy. He's very marketable right now.
The year Lawrence never fell off.
He fell off.
Here's the only thing I'm going to tell you.
Off every,
this
all right,
is
in
my
4
only thing.
playoff games, he only has 1 sack, and that sack was a measly throwaway sack to Tom Brady. In 4 playoff games, as much as we crucify Dak for his playoff performance, let's crucify the so-called face of our franchise.
This guy is double teamed every single play, triple teamed every single play, playing a position he's not been hired for. He's not hired for the defensive end position. He's hired for middle linebacker. He's not playing that position, and he's getting treated as such. He's getting triple teamed, dominated on the edge. He don't need to be there. Whose fault is that? Is that his fault, or is that the coaching staff fault?
Technically, it is his fault because that's the position he's taking. That's the position he's taking. Let's not do that because they even changed his position on the roster for him to do that. So that's at this point, that's his spot. Can he play the middle linebacker position? Can he play linebacker? Obviously, we saw him do it. We saw him rush through the middle. We saw it was successful. This is my only thing I'm going to tell you about Micah Parsons right now.
Go ahead.
When Mikey tells you that it's dog years, that's not an unfair comparison. It truly is dog years every year that you spend in the NFL. It truly is. And the fact is, man, people catch up to what you're doing. And we've seen him fail time after time, year after year in the latter part of the season. We've seen it. December, January, in the playoffs, we've seen it. Now, you can make the argument they didn't use him correctly. They didn't have him in the right positions to make the plays that he needed to make. Other people around him didn't do this. But we've already heard his teammates come out and say they weren't running to my side, were they? All I'm saying is with Micah Parsons right now, there's a lot of bullshit with Micah Parsons right now. And if I'm going to because you have to understand something too. He's not talking about defensive end money. He's not talking about linebacker money. He's talking about top of the league at any position money. The only people that are going to be paid more than Micah Parsons are quarterbacks. And that's a different ballpark of money when you're talking about a guy who's supposed to make a resounding difference in your team when it truly matters. Now, I will sit here and tell you all day, twice on fucking Tuesday, that when he came on this roster, he completely flipped this defense on its head. It was like night and day from what we had seen because this defense was porous before he showed up. Absolutely porous, horrendous, terrible defense in terms of what we were looking at before he showed up. We were getting run down like crazy. And when he showed up, things changed and it has become the defense that it has become. But we have seen this time and time again that in the latter part of the season, which is why I really love the size that Zimmer's brought to our defense. The latter part of the season, these guys were not making the plays that you saw in the beginning. And they weren't able to finish the job in terms of what you expected in results. Did it have to be a Super Bowl? No. Was I expecting one? 100%. The freaking Lions made it to the NFC Championship game. You're telling me we couldn't? Losing to the Packers at home? As a 2 seed that you were gifted to by the Philadelphia Eagles? You were gifted the 2 seed by the Philadelphia Eagles, guaranteed 2 home games, and you fold to the Packers like that, where there isn't a guy in coverage within a yard of any single receiver, and they run down your throat with Aaron Jones, and you're out here talking? Stop it, bro. Sometimes you just talk too much.
What do you think, big fella? You've been quiet. I know you've been the super producer, and we appreciate everything. The game has stepped up with this show, and we got to say, before we say another thing, everything. There's always something new. We give you props. Now let's get the analyst. Get your producer hat off, and let's get the analyst hat. Right behind you. There's the fucking analyst hat. Pick one.
Hey, man, look. When B2 Real comes on the show, I always just want to hear what he got to say. And I wanted to sit back and just enjoy it, you know. So my homeboy's on the show, man. I got excited, you know, and we had a good topic to talk about. So that's why I was quiet. You know, I was like, man, I'm letting y'all have the stage. But hey, you want the big fella to comment? Big fella gonna comment on this one. All right. So
Bullet Bob Hay jersey too, man.
When 21 had sent it to the group text, and I looked at it, and I was like, well, we've been saying this, okay? It wasn't a surprise, but then it was a surprise when you have an active player on the team actually said this about Micah
on the defense.
On the defense, then I got kind of concerned because then I was thinking, well, is it trouble in the locker room, or is it any kind of jealousy? Because we all know the Cowboys is going to have to pay Micah a tremendous. He's going to make quarterback money. We all know that. He's going to do it. He's going to make it, and it's because his ability on the field. What Cowboy fans, including the Cowboy fans like me, is I think Micah has a lot of DeMarcus worrying him, meaning he'll show out in the first quarter, in the first half of the season, but when I need his ass, I don't see him. I want Micah Parsons to be LT so bad. I want him to be LT. I do. I see his ability. Man, when they move Micah all around the field, I think that's when he's at his best. But when they just leave him at defensive end and you got these all-world offensive tackles who are bred to block speed rushers, that's what they do to him in the big game. I just want Micah. I don't care if Micah Parsons got a pocket. I could care less, okay? But when you go on your podcast and you talk shit, especially about Josh fucking Dobbs, and he lit your ass up, you didn't get a sack in him against Arizona.
And all that money.
You remember that shit? He get on his podcast and he's talking about how he's going to destroy Josh Dobbs, and Josh Dobbs lit his ass up.
Yeah. Spend all that money.
That's what pisses me off about Micah. Micah, if you're gonna talk shit, hey, be too real. You from the hood too. You from Stop 6'2". You know how it worked when we was in our hood. If you gonna talk shit, you better be able to back it up, or you gonna get your ass whooped, right?
Right.
So that's the only problem I got with Micah. Don't talk shit and don't back it up. That's the only problem. He can have 1,000 podcasts. I don't give a shit. But don't talk that shit and you can't back it up. I need a follow-up.
I mean, I listen. I think we're talking about two different things here. I think Malik Hooker is talking about what you guys are talking about, right? I believe what I'm saying is this: Michael Parsons isn't looking at none of that shit. Michael Parsons is looking at how marketable he is right now. We're talking about his podcast right now. People are talking about his podcast all over the globe. They're going to talk about it. This guy is going to talk about whatever he wants to on his podcast because he's marketable. That's the point, right? Malik Hooker is saying what you guys are saying. But Michael Parsons ain't looking at none of that shit. He ain't looking at, well, if I talk shit, I got to bring it on Sunday, or they going to look at me. It's a team sport. He ain't looking at none of that. He's looking at getting his paper up because he know that the Cowboys at some point are gonna play with his money.
Hey, so in a black house, is there like, a Mexican house? We have like pictures of the Virgin Mary, right? Is hanging a picture of Barack Obama a thing or what?
Yeah, that has got to be Ebony. That has got to be Ebony.
God bless.
You stupid as shit.
Bring us home. Bring us home. Chuko down. Bring us home. Kill it, Bubba. Kill it.
There it is.
And Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I think that Malik Hooker hit a lot of what what all the fans have been talking about as far as show up, man. Show up when we need you to show up, and because it's like you talk the talk, but you ain't walking the walk, man. We go down at home to the 7th seed, we get embarrassed, and then for the following week, your special guest on your podcast is Jordan Love. Like, you just have me. Oh, let me decipher how I whipped your ass.
I mean, think about us though, guys. Right? We do the same shit every week. Oh, we gonna beat these guys 75-3. We gonna whoop their ass. And although we have no dog in the fight, we ain't on the field. We're not playing. but we're fans about the shit. We telling everybody at work, oh, we're gonna whoop that ass, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. He doing the same thing. He doing the same thing. And I know he's not performing at the level that he probably could be performing at, but there are other variables that play a part in him not being who we know he is to be. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, let's not get away from the main thing. And I know we're beating a dead horse.
Isn't that the point? I mean, honestly, though, but isn't that the point that he's not bringing his full potential to the field, man? You have this podcast because you are on the field. People know who you are because you're on the damn field.
It's like LeBron saying, it's just basketball. No, that's the whole reason you're popular, because of basketball.
The field comes first. The field comes first. And the fact is, man, if that's keeping him from becoming the next Lawrence Taylor, then it's not worth it. There is going to be plenty of time for a podcast. He can do it when think about how long Jason Kelce,
Michael Irvin, Michael Irvin's been on the airways for 30 damn years.
And Cowboys are known for going to the booth. Like it's just a thing.
Right. It's a different
booth right now.
It's a different day. It's a different day and time today, though, guys. Like it really is. Where everybody's getting their cake right now. They getting their money right now. They not waiting. They're not going into a job and be like, I'm gonna stay there 30 years and then I'm gonna retire and then I'm gonna volunteer.
Less money as a pro. Ronnie James is gonna make less money as a pro.
Right. That like it's a different time now. And I know that what we expect to happen should be happening, but we don't play. I'm comparing apples to shit. In what way?
Joe Jefferson's still bad about
regardless of all that.
You understand? Joe Jefferson's pissed at Josh Dobbs, bro.
Regardless of all of that, there's a time and a place. I can't believe the excuses I'm hearing for this man right now.
You're going away from the biggest thing.
It's not an excuse.
Away from the biggest thing. We're shitting on Micah a lot, but the biggest thing is Malik coming out. The biggest thing is DeMarcus Ware doing it on first play. Yeah, the whole tire thing. But the biggest thing he said on it was, well, it wasn't my side they were running. The biggest thing is Jesse Holley saying he's not putting the work as a linebacker. The biggest thing is Sean Sharif saying on 103.5 The Fan that the whole locker room is sick of it. That's the biggest thing. To have the nuts to just divulge and say he didn't slow the fuck down. You didn't ask no follow-up questions by Key. Key was just letting him fucking talk because he already had an agenda. And that's the biggest thing
in the very beginning.
And that's the biggest thing that it is. Micah's gonna be Micah. We're gonna love Mike. I got an 11 jersey. I'm gonna get a Wiley fucking 11 jersey. And that's the first jersey I got from a player that I'm really older than that I didn't play. Usually I just get an Emmitt Smith. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the kid that much. But it's a big tell on what the team
what's really going on
is sick of her. Go Mando.
I get that.
It's a big tell of what's really going on in the locker room. And I think it all started with the whole DeMarcus Lawrence, we're tired. It all stemmed from all that. Like, we haven't seen this offense come out and be like, well, Dak, I don't know about Dak. It's all the comments that came from the defense. Have you noticed that? It's all DeMarcus Lawrence.
Good shit, Bando.
It's all been telltales from the defense. So it's like we're really seeing that it's this defense. Is it broken inside and we're not seeing it? And
the only people that talk about Dak is CD Lamb's mama.
That's it. That was it.
And Cowboy hating ass fans. Don't forget them.
Yeah, but I'm saying like internal, like
but internal,
you're seeing it happen.
You've never heard the offense, talk about each other like that. It's always Dak is that quarterback. Dak is that dude.
He's our leader. He's
our leader. Yeah. Everybody talks about Jake Ferguson, how great he's gonna be. Everybody talks about how CeeDee Lamb deserves his paper, but the defense. It's a whole different level. Like Mikey said, DeMarcus Lawrence came out and said they didn't run on my side.
Yeah.
That's
tired.
You know,
tired.
You know,
Tired,
he was,
boss. I'm tired, boss.
yeah, he was on the sideline when they ran on his. He was resting.
you know,
Anyway,
so there's I feel like there's a lot of internal things going on in that defense that, you know, is it starting with Micah? Because a lot of it has to do kind of circles around the Micah, you know.
well,
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 us defensive players are more primal. We eat our own. We're a little crazy. We're not timid and lax like those offensive players. You know what I mean?
I can't wait to training camp because I want to see what's really gonna go down.
I got a question for you, 21. Do you think the new defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer, can fix these internal problems? Because with Malik Hooker coming out saying this and Tank Lawrence saying what he's saying, do you think the change in the room will help this?
You know what? I if you guys listen to that whole interview, I had a chance to kind of listen to bits and pieces of different of it. And Malik Cook talked about Zim a lot. He talked about how Zim is kind of that quiet dude. You know, he really don't say much, but on that field he does. So I think on that field, he's gonna be that dude that's gonna be, in their face. Don't do this, do this. So I'm hoping that he fixes this mess or whatever
Well,
really
it's
going
not
on.
really a mess though, too, Mongo. It's just spots and things, and it's the running game, and the lack of us having a linebacker.
I mean, look, I have a big group, and you have little cheese mess here and there, people talking about each other. So this is what's going on, and I see it. I'm a manager. I'm Zim. I'm the Zim.
I am your manager,
and I'm seeing it. There's a mess. I'm like, man, I got to deal with this mess, man. So Zim is coming in. And he knows there's bickering. There's bickering here. There's bickering there. So you gotta deal with these. I hate to say it, but it's like you have these cheese mess, as we say it, right? These gossiping. Because that's what it is. Now you're gonna have this Malik Cooker and Micah, and Micah made a statement about it. I believe he talked about Malik Cooker. Why couldn't you come and talk to me, or something to that realm? So there's gonna be something there, right? So that's what I'm saying. Training camp. I'm excited for it. It makes it a little bit more exciting.
Speaking of training camping going forward,
hold on 1 second. Be too real. What do you think about Zim? Can he get control of that defensive room? And matter of fact, we didn't have you on the show when he got hired. What do you feel about Zimmer?
I was kind of shaky about getting him as a defensive guy because Minnesota, they were very, very, very porous in the secondary. Anytime I played my fantasy lineup against Minnesota, I got some great numbers. I don't know if that's a personnel issue or if that's a head coach issue or defensive coordinator issue. I don't know what that was all the way, but I don't want it to be over here. Given that we got Diggs coming off of injury. He's gonna be back on the field. We got to get that secondary core back to where it was when they were feared. And I hope it don't regress. I hope it gets better. But I'm kind of iffy about it. I want to see what it looks like. But the second question was, can he fix it? I mean, he's been in the league a while. He's been in the league in a while, and so he may have some tricks that he can bring that defense together. It's a hard gig to follow with Dan Quinn. You know what I'm saying? Bringing the defense from where they were to kind of a feared defense. You know what I'm saying? So it's a hard task, but I think he may be up for the challenge. We don't know yet. We'll have to see.
And do you think, all right, the absence of Dan Quinn will, because Micah was a Dan Quinn guy, do you think that's going to have a negative effect towards Micah's attitude? Because attitude is what we're talking about here, man.
Right.
Not the player, not exactly the player, his skills, his talent. No, if anything, him as a player, we love him as a player. We praise him. He has flashes of being one of the greatest. It's the attitude. You think the minus of Dan Quinn is going to affect that? What do you think, Chris, about that?
Well, honestly, man, if Dan Quinn wouldn't have got the job for the Commanders, I thought he'd been fired. I I was on that bandwagon and shit. Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn needed to go after that debacle against Green Bay. That's how I felt about it. But you know how you can overreact right after a season and everything. But I couldn't get it past my mind how you got a top 5 defense and you at home and basically they treated you like hot butter, knife through hot butter. And most Cowboy fans wanted to blame Dak Prescott for the loss, but hell, he ain't made a tackle in his life. he ain't played in coverage a day in his life. He ain't rushed a passer a day in his life, but it was Dak's fault. But Chris always fall back into the Dak conversation, but we're gonna get off that real quick. But
do we have another hour?
No, we're not, because we still got to get the CD. So, man, my whole thing is with that, man. I thought we needed a change in the room. We got to change. It's a familiar change, but I'm just hoping that he gets these players that we think that need to be on the field. Because a lot of these players, man, such as Sam Williams, sits on the sidelines too much for me. We got people with athletic ability, man, that need to be on the field that possibly can help Micah. And I'm just hoping that Zim can do that for us. But look, man, we've been on Micah ass for 46 minutes, man. And he's a hot topic. But the other hot topic, it's been reported, by sources that CD Lamb said if he don't get his money, he is going to request a trade from the Cowboys. Okay. Now, this is my thoughts. I'm gonna let y'all rock with this. We always gonna give our guests the first shot at this. My thoughts on this, man, is simple. I don't think this is ever gonna happen. They're gonna get that man his money, because we talked about the wide receiver room, and to me, all the wide receivers, they not 1A, they not 1B, they not number 2s. I think we got a bunch of number 3s on our team and CD Lamb.
We got a ribeye on
number
it, right?
3s, a bunch of number 3s and CD Lamb. So if you got a bunch of number 3s on your team, you need that number 1, right? To show up and show out. So I think they're gonna pay him. So we're gonna start with you, B2 Real, man. What do you think about this CD talk, bro?
Well, I had a couple of things wrote down, but I mean, you said a lot of them already. With a name like Sedarian De Leon, he has to kind of pull some diva stuff. Pull some diva stuff every now and again, and I think it's a diva move. But it is what it is. He has leverage, and I think just like Micah has marketability, he has leverage. Is he a number 1 wide receiver on any team that he goes to? Probably not. A number 1 any team he goes to? Probably not. But he is the number 1 and the best wide receiver that the Cowboys have. And so I feel like, he got leverage there. And so, this kind of a move that's on the back of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson about to get their money too. So, he's doing what most people would do to get the more money. So I think
You think is just posturing, because the Cowboys the Cowboys do a lot of posturing, and it pisses me off. Okay, they always wait to the last minute to do things, and it costs them more money every time they do it. Every time. Rue said it early in the offseason. The Cowboys need to do this quickly, because once the other boys get their money, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Everybody got their money, and guess who's on deck? It's CD. Let's go with Rue. Rue, man, what you think about this topic, man?
I'm not just gonna skeet past what you just said a second ago, B.
I know, right?
What team is CD Lamb not a number 1 on?
Yes.
What team? The Vikings? The Miami Dolphins? Who else?
Yeah, you just named two.
That's the only two.
There's 30 more.
That's the only two. There's 32 teams in the NFL. There's only two that you're not taking CD Lamb as your number one receiver. Two.
I don't know.
I want to know.
I don't think so.
Because you made it seem like it was like half the league or some shit with the
Yeah,
way you said it.
No, I said that's not what I said.
The way you said it,
recorded,
though.
That's not what I said.
Number one on like a couple teams. Like, what do you
I didn't say that. I did not say that. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape.
I wish to God I could because we are live right now.
Rewind the goddamn tape.
Oh my God! I know I'm not crazy right now, but the way you said it, and I'm not saying.
I said if he gonna be no. I said it when he be.
I'm not
okay,
saying
you
said it directly. What I'm saying is the way you said it.
Right.
Made me feel like you were just not in on a man who just had 1,750 yards and 12 tugs.
And I remember we had
I didn't say that.
We had that argument when we didn't think CD was a true number one at one point when he was dropping balls and shit. That was 3 fucking years ago, dude.
I mean, it's been a minute.
That was
the fact is
feeling.
he's gotten better and better every single season. The fact is, when you say he's got all the leverage, he literally has all the chips pushed into his corner because, like Chris said, we got nothing but threes on this team outside of CD Lamb playing at the wide receiver position. So I take that for all the chips that it's worth. And the fact is, with what you get from CD Lamb, I can literally line him up anywhere. I can put him in the slot. I can put him in the X. I can put him at running back. He's basically like Deebo Samuel's in a sense of how we can use him. Now, do I want to see him at running back? Absolutely not. 100% no. I don't ever want to see him lined up at running back, but I do like the fact that we can move him. We can put him in motion. We can put him on different spots in the field. Love that I can use my number one receiver in a lot of different aspects of the game. Regardless of all of that, if he doesn't get his contract, it, number one, wouldn't make any sense to me at all that you're just going to let the guy who just did what he did last season, who's done nothing since his rookie year but get better and better as time has passed, and officially come into his own as the number one receiver for this team after the departure of Amari Cooper, which there was questions, but I think he's answered them at this point. Are there things that I would like to see CD Lamb improve on? Yes, but has he earned his $32 million that he's asking for, reported up to maybe $36 million? I don't know what he's going to get, but he's going to get somewhere in that realm. And
has he earned a podcast?
Has he heard the podcast?
I don't think that's in his
Has he
name.
earned it? Has he earned it? Has he earned it? Has he earned it?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm joking.
He went on one episode of a podcast. Like
I'm joking. Go ahead.
I don't care that he went on one episode of a podcast. He don't own one though. Like, come on now. Like, let's not start acting up. You're projecting. You mad because of the Micah thing. Now you're on CD Lamb all of a sudden.
There you go, Ru. There you go. Watch out the bull. You get the horns.
Look, man. All I'm saying is, I got the shirt on for a reason. I need this combination this year. Otherwise, we are in deep shit because my number one receiver is going to be freaking Jake Ferguson. And we're going to be seeing a lot of tight end sets on a Mike McCarthy offense that don't really do that a lot. He just don't do that.
Stephen Jones. Don't sleep on Stephen Jones.
We'll see what happens with Stephen Jones, obviously coming off the ACL. But ultimately, with what you're looking at in the tight end room, that's the bulk of it outside of what we have from CD Lamb. Because run game's huge question mark. Tight ends are probably the most secure position on offense right now, especially in terms of depth. And then with receiver, you got nothing but guys that nobody knows nothing about. Maybe you hit a freaking lottery pick with Ryan Flournoy in the 6th round or whatever.
Yeah, they're talking good about him.
Hey, yes, I've heard nothing but great things, but it's also underwear Olympics. I don't really care right now. Let me see it when we play the Cleveland Browns on week 1. You're going to get a real test of this team on week 1, and that's really all I'm waiting on. Obviously, the preseason is going to matter, but what we see in week 1 from this offense against the defense of the caliber of the Cleveland Browns, who took Joe Flacco to a victory in a playoff game and made him look like Ravens Super Bowl winning Joe Flacco playoff run again.
I think they lost to the Texans.
Yeah, they lost to the Texans the first round.
They did, but damn it, Joe Flacco went on a miraculous run. We're just gonna act like that didn't happen. That came off.
It happened. It happened, Rube.
He had an amazing ass run.
Not wanting to come back, he wanted Flacco. He don't want no massage chair.
I'm just saying. All I know with what CD Lamb brings to the table, I'm happy with it, and I think he still has room to get better. Even, I mean, it's only year 4, right? Like that's all we're really talking about here. In the first year we had him, he didn't even have his quarterback. Still managed to put up over 900 yards with Cooper, or with not even Cooper. It wasn't even Cooper at the time. God bless. Who was it?
It was the Red Rocket.
No, there you go. Old Dalton.
Yeah, Andy Dalton. Yeah,
So, yeah. I'll take that for everything that it's worth. The man has come through a lot to be in this position, and he's earned every penny that he's going to get. Receivers don't just fall out of the freaking sky. They just don't. You slapped that 88 on him for a reason. Give him his damn money. Let's call it a day. The only reason they haven't paid him is because we're still in the news about the bullshit.
21. What you got on this, man? We got 2 hot topics tonight, man. And I'm really enjoying that. All y'all take 21. Yeah. What's your take on CD?
One key word that B2 Real said was leverage. I think this man knows he has it. He knows he has nothing but number 3s. He knows he's that one, and he's gonna ride it out till he gets that money. He knows. I mean, besides CeeDee Lamb, who's after him? Cooks, and then
I think it's Ferguson and then Cooks.
Cooks, Tolbert, Brooks, Flournoy. It's a bunch of guys. It's literally a bunch of guys.
Oh, what did Kai Crazy say? It's CeeDee Lamb and a bunch of midgets.
A bunch of 3s. So I think this man has leverage. He knows it. He's gonna hold out till he gets that money. But we need to pay this man. He's that key part if we really want to do something this year. I think I won't get too much into the Dak, but I think we all know where that whole Dak thing is going. It's going to be waited out to the end. But with CD, you need to get him his money. We can't have this man hold out and not have that. I think he's already talked about, holding out till after training camp. If you don't get his money,
he ain't coming.
Yeah, we don't need that Emmitt Smith situation.
But as far as him being traded, man, that would be tough right there. That would be tough if he has to get traded. I know from that source that it came. So I believe want to say Pretty Ricky.
You're killing me right now.
From what I heard though, it's a pretty credible source.
Pretty Ricky, grind with me, relax your mind, grind with me. That's exactly where. Thank you for giving me Pretty Ricky. When the big fella said, sources say it wasn't Adam Scheffler, it wasn't Wojciechowski, it wasn't Chris Mortensen, it was Pretty motherfucking Ricky.
Pretty Ricky 2 on 3, y'all.
But look, man,
he's obviously won Pulitzers for his great journalistic integrity. So we're in the space where if you throw shit on the wall, we'll see what sticks, right? It wasn't Mike Fisher, it wasn't Brian Brodish, it wasn't even the dudes that Chris likes on the other station. No, it was Pretty.
They're called the Ticket, Sports Radio 1310. The Ticket, okay?
Ticket.
The Ticket, yeah.
They
started the gangster shit in Dallas Fort Worth.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
fucking like the Fan now because this is where the Cowboys play.
I like the Fan because
don't be hating on the Ticket, bro.
But I'm talking
shit.
about Pretty.
The Ticket started the gangster shit, homie.
The Ticket.
And you know what? I'll listen to more of the Ticket. I'm not, not to defend the Ticket, but what I'm saying is this is not a credible source, and this is an obvious link. Just like with the obvious reporting, me and Rue missed out on the topic last week about Mike McCarthy. Well, of course we don't like our fucking boss from time to time. So of course we don't like his fucking practices. Of course we don't like going to work. Of course that. So when you say obvious shit and throw it out there, it's going to get clicks. It's going to get followed. And you know what? It's a big towel. Because neither side has said anything to defend it. CD side hasn't said anything. Well, that's a false report. Jerry Jones hasn't said anything because they already know, like we all know, this is what they do. And they let us do this. Like there is a ringmaster and the circus, and we're going to watch the juggling fucking monkeys and argue about the flipping pandas with some Mrs. T. And we're gonna argue this, but this is an obvious thing. Darius De Leon's gonna get signed, and it's crazy how specific Pretty Ricky put it. He put it $3 million less than Justin Jefferson. Like, how convenient! It's like fucking being wishful thinking. It's LeVar balling this shit and hoping he's gonna sign for $32 million a year. That's wishful thinking. So that's saying shit to say it and then us regurgitating it for the content purpose sake. There ain't shit to talk about. Shit to talk about. This week, I hope we don't have a show next week when we ain't got shit to talk about, because fucking 4th of July weekend is one of those weekends where it could be real Cowboy centric or not.
Oh, God.
But like I said, Pretty Ricky, grind with me, relax your mind. You know what I'm saying? Keep it to that and don't fucking do sports, please.
Pretty Ricky.
Hey, dude, we need a Pretty Ricky. We need a Pretty Ricky song.
I'm on my phone right now.
B, do you have any rebuttal for any of that?
God bless.
No, I don't. I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good on that one.
Hey, when he started dancing in the seat, I got nervous. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Your life just dipped.
I got real nervous. I was like, oh shit, Mikey getting warm.
Hey, you're like, damn, I hope we got insurance. That seat's gonna break.
Hey, that's hilarious. But anyway, man. So, any final thoughts on CDE before we move on?
Pay that man. Yeah, pay that man.
Hey, do the Aaron Hernandez.
Now,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, not that one.
Please
Right.
don't do that. Do not do that. There's too many bad things. He didn't just do this.
Like I said, it is a big deal that they're not stopping it. The agent is loving this. Jerry's loving this. The publicity's loving this. Nobody gives a shit about the NBA draft. Nobody gives a shit about baseball. They're barely giving a shit about Caitlin Clark. But again, we're talking about the motherfucking Dallas Cowboys. And who gives a fuck about Paul George going to the 76ers or Klay Thompson going to the Dallas Mavericks?
Hey, watch your tone.
Whoa, that's a big move. That's a big move.
Let's not act like that because you're sour because you're super.
Dude, I got the same move and it didn't do shit. Like, you're gonna see what a big three does to your team, bro. Like, my big three, your big three, it don't mean shit.
Yeah, you just watch your tone, homie. Okay. Anyway, be
mad
too real.
You too, Suns fan.
Yeah, be too real. You said you had some topics you wanted to get into, man. Let's get into those topics, man, before we get out.
We got into them. Okay. You know, we got into them. The Sedarian, we got into that. You know, Malik, we got into all that.
Man, all right. Now, Rue wanted, because he missed the show last week, and he wanted to talk about the Mike McCarthy thing. Okay?
I'm so fucking down.
So let's talk about this Mike McCarthy thing. Rue,
a lot of the conversation ran short last week for some reason.
So Should I just leave it alone, 21? Should I just leave it alone?
I would be so like Ether.
Yeah, just I mean, you know, so much anger. Hey,
angry.
All right. So last week, man, we discussed Mike McCarthy being a little fed up with the front office, basically Jerry Jones and other things, and Rue and Mikey didn't get the comment on this. So, Rue, what are you thinking about the Dallas Cowboys head coach at this time, man? Should he be upset and fed up?
Yes, absolutely. He should absolutely 100% be absolutely pissed off, fed up, over this bullshit. The man has been nothing but disrespected since the day he walked in the door. If we really think about every press conference and everything that he goes through, he really has just been shit on since he walked through the door. And I watched this same ownership give Jason Garrett year after year after year after year of 8-8 seasons. 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, Mr. 8-8 himself. The man's won 36 games in the last 3 seasons.
Say it again.
Do I think he deserves a medal for his one playoff win out of those 36 wins? Absolutely not. But he definitely deserves to have the tools put around him to be successful. And what I mean by that is a lot of these things that are happening within the Cowboys could have all been taken care of. We could have taken care of Dak Prescott. We could have taken care of CeeDee Lamb. We could have done everything that we needed to do to set this team up to be successful for the upcoming season. But the fact of the matter is there isn't a person on this roster of value that isn't on a one-year prove-it deal right now. Pretty much every face of this organization is on a one-year prove-it deal. You got Dak Prescott. You got Mike Zimmer. You got Mike McCarthy. You got CeeDee Lamb. Well, not necessarily CeeDee Lamb, but and even Micah Parsons for this upcoming season. There's so many things that are swirling in this organization where it's like if you actually believed in what you had, you would have already done what needed to be done. Now, I know that these guys pander. I know that these guys sit on their hands because the longer they take and the more that they do, the fact is the more attention that's on the Cowboys, the more that we're talked about, just like Mikey tells us every fucking week, they're going to get paid. They're going to get fucking paid. They're in the news. They're getting paid. Good or bad, this team brings money and this team brings attention for everything that happens to it and everything that it does. But it drives me absolutely fucking crazy because you know what ends up happening? We end up paying top dollar for every single spot. I mean, let's just go back. What was DeMarcus Ware when he got signed? Number one fucking DN in the league. What was Tony Romo when he got signed? Number one quarterback in the league. What was what was Des Bryant when he got signed? Number one quarterback, number one receiver in the league. In terms of how much they got paid. All of them. Are we going to do the exact same thing again? I don't know. But if you get ahead of it instead of waiting for the ball to drop from somebody else, maybe you can get better deals than what you get. Now, is it going to happen with guys like CeeDee Lamb? No, but could you maybe work on it with Dak Prescott? Sure, you could. It's definitely possible. You've already paid this man. It's if you work it out and treat him with respect, unlike the way you've treated him, maybe it would be different. Maybe his feelings would be different. But you've clearly shown that you're not all in. And when it comes to Mike McCarthy, it drives me absolutely crazy because it's like, you know what, man? I was never a huge fan of Mike McCarthy. I was not a fan of Mike McCarthy when we signed him. I was not a fan of Mike McCarthy all throughout this process. But the fact is, he's won 36 freaking games. He's won 36 freaking games, and I can't argue that point. And a lot of them are because of what he did to this offense. I mean, look at the difference that you had from this offense, from Kellen Moore to Mike McCarthy in just one season. One season.
But it's the same record, though.
We led in every single statistic that there is. No, excuse me. We were in second place. And we were in second place in every single statistics that there is for the offense. The only thing that we had in first was touchdowns. And you know what? I'll take that. I'll take the most touchdowns in the league from my coach after one season with this offense. The fact is you could have built around this team and you still can make it better for this offense. We need depth at positions for this offense to be successful. And there's still pieces out there that are available. Michael Thomas is just screaming at me. You're telling me I can get Michael Thomas on a vet minimum and hope to God that he does a one-year prove-it deal just like everybody else on my freaking roster?
Play if he's not hurt.
Yeah, that's my point. 1 year prove it deal.
That died and came back to life and had the field.
You know what? If you're telling me that all I got to do is gamble veteran, if you're telling me all I got to do is gamble veteran minimum on a guy with Michael Thomas's talent, I'll take that gamble. I'll take it. I'll take the freaking gamble. And there's ways to do what they need to be done, but every domino has to fall first, and it starts with CeeDee Lamb. And you are sabotaging this man's final season by creating turmoil in this locker room and in this organization in his final season as a Dallas Cowboys head coach. And I think it's unfair. But the fact is, fuck it. Life ain't fair. So he's going to have to figure out how to deal with it.
All right, be too real, man. What you think about the head coach being dissatisfied with the front office?
I mean, Rue said everything, man. I think Rue said everything that needs to be said, to be honest with you. I mean, he does have every reason to be unhappy. He's not respected as the head coach. But fun fact about Mike McCarthy, I don't know if you guys know, he got a brother named Joseph McCarthy. Looks just like him. Look it up when we get off the line. But anyway,
Joe, just Fat Joe, Fat Mike, and Fat Joe,
Fat Joe. But no, I mean, Mike McCarthy is what Mike McCarthy is. Like nobody's like super excited about Mike McCarthy as the head coach. You know, we were when he hadn't played a game yet. We was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be great. And then he got on the field and did 4 games better than Coach Clapp. You know, and so
That was COVID,
oh
and we lost Dak.
yeah. But granted, all that it's still 4 games. You know, so
I mean,
but for him to be upset, I mean, for him to be upset, like I understand. You know, Rue said a lot of points that I agree with totally.
All right.
So
Okay, now Mikey, you didn't get to talk about it, man. What do you think about it?
All right. First of all, with him being fed up, right, and him not liking his environment, have you ever had a friend, right, that he was all, he meets a girl, and y'all know about this girl, right? That girl done ran through all your other homies, right? But you know about this girl, and you tell your friend, bruh, she a hoe. He want to wife her. and he's your friend, but you told him. So, years pass by and she be hoeing. But that's who she was, and that's who he married, right? So he can't go and sit and bitch about it if he knew that's what he was going to bed with, correct? Correct. There was a point in time where we used to say, if Mike McCarthy had a problem, well, he has to put it in a suggestion box in fucking Jerry's office. That's what we used to say. You know what I mean? Because the circumstances he got in were what he knew. And then he lied about himself. He proved it. And thank you, Rue. You validate me a lot in all the other arguments about me telling you 36 wins. And 36 wins are important. As 36 times we went to work happy without getting shit. And I get it. But, and it's okay for him to be fed up. And it's okay to bitch about it. But you already know who you got in bed with. But this is just one of those other things. Who reported this, and how long did this sit on the Athletics desk until it came out? Because we didn't have shit to talk about. This was reported 3 weeks ago, which was 2 weeks since last week, and they started talking about it. But they started talking about it because they needed something to talk about. Correct? It wasn't an Adam Schefter, and again, so it's just it's pander. It's just Cowboy headlines, it's content, and I get it. Mike McCarthy is the guy, and he was the right hire. I didn't like it. I really didn't. But you know what? He's proven. Dude, 36 wins are nothing to sneeze at all. But Jerry has held his end of the bargain as well. All right. Let's go into another topic. The rankings came out to our roster. I know this isn't the roster after after training camp but we have the number 6 place roster right now. I know there's a lot of one-year deals, and he can't act like a little victim because he's not the only one with the 1-year deal. You approved another point, Rue. There's many of high-profile guys with 1 year on their deal. The only one that's going to get their money is CD right now. The quarterback's not going to get his money right now. Mike ain't going to get his money right now. There's a lot of 1-year guys, and the head coach is there to prove it. So, does it suck for him? Well, sucks for you, but heavy is the head that wears this motherfucking star.
All right. 21, I know we talked about it last week. You got any further things on Mike McCarthy?
Nah, big fella. It's just, Rule said everything, to the T. It's he should be he should be pissed. I feel like, but I think that we all know that it's he's on that 1-year deal, and it's that prove it year, I guess, for most Cowboys, right? So we'll see where that ends up.
All right. Well, we are at the end of our show. So we always end it with final thoughts, and we always, I guess always go first. B2 Real, you got any final thoughts, baby?
Puro Pinche, Cowboy.
Puro Pinches Cowboys.
Puro
All right.
Pinche
Rue, final thoughts for tonight?
Sign CD Lamb. Pay the man.
All right. 21. You got any final thoughts?
Micah, put up or shut up.
Everybody's short and sweet tonight. We know this one ain't gonna be. Mikey.
Well, on the light that it's 4th of July weekend, I hope you guys are safe and you have a good time, with your families. And thank you for all the soldiers that, for our freedom. Thank you very much. Everything and what Independence Day means and us being Americans and in the United States. But on that note, this is a very scary time for Cowboy fans, especially our team. This was a bad reputation weekend. We would hold our breath because we are, I guess, we're high profile partiers. So a Cowboy would always come out and do some stupid shit. We're not talking about blowing up your hand or anything, but an arrest, a DUI. This is a stupid test. Don't go there and go do drugs because they're gonna drug test you. You know what I mean? I was on probation before. I know. So after weekends like this, just stay home or go to the gym or just cook some burgers and dogs. Don't go crazy. Let your cousin light those fireworks. Don't be drinking drive. Get a damn Uber. Please don't get in trouble. So, light a candle for the Cowboys to not do some stupid shit. Sam Williams, don't get in the car.
I try, y'all. I'll tell you. This show here, I tell you, it's something else. But hey, man, I really enjoyed myself today, man. First of all, we always, man, like to thank our man B2 Real for being in the house with us, man. Hey, anytime B2 Real, you want to join the Cowboy Up podcast, man, you feel free to hop your sexy ass in here and give us your takes, okay?
Man, just send me the link. Pause. No Diddy. Send me the link.
Hey, you want to go shopping?
Hey,
I love how no Diddy is the new no homo.
It is.
I love how that's the new no homo.
You want to go shopping?
I love that. That is hilarious. That is so damn funny to me. That now,
if the shoe fits, bro,
no Diddy.
No Diddy is
no Diddy, because it's no diggity, but it's just no Diddy.
No, it's no Diddy. It's no Diddy,
God.
and that is the funniest damn thing to me.
That is hilarious, though. So, man, once again, man, like Mikey always said, man, tell your friends about us, man. If y'all hadn't liked and subscribed to the Cowboy Up podcast, man, do us a favor and do that for us. Like I say, this is our all season too, man. We trying to get ready for the season. Our training camp has been all season, so we trying to get revved up for this season, just like these Cowboys are. And man, we got plenty of things to talk about once they get in training camp at the end of the month.
Yeah, so, and if you guys just didn't notice with your notification changed from Dallas Cowboy Chris to the Dallas Cowboy Cowboy Up podcast. And so it's nothing strange with your phone. So when you refer to us or you tell your friends about us, they could find us on the Cowboy podcast on YouTube. So it's a little bit easier to find, but always like, subscribe, and you already know what's up. Don't burn those hot dogs.
Well, I appreciate you ending my monologue for me, because I was basically going to say that. Anyway, some of us just don't have patience. We just don't. So, hey, man, like we always say, Dallas Cowboys for life.
Puro pinches Cowboys.
Pinches Cowboys, no Diddy.
What we're doing now, we're just gonna make stuff up. We're just gonna be off the cuff. It's gonna be wild. And this is crazy because y'all are Cowboys fans, from what I understand. And what's even wilder is y'all gave it like the hard pause. Like y'all gave it like the, oh man, he about to say something profound. Like he's going to drop the mic. He's going to give us the knowledge of the Cowboys' first round draft selection history.
Send this to a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Is it true? Is it true? Is it true that the Cowboys have the best fans? Yes, sir.
I trip out on that. Because I'm swimming in it. I wear this jersey every first game. It's my favorite jersey.
Came from El Paso.
Go Cowboys!